Hey everyone, welcome back with Bino Mac. The final episode in this AKI Evolution mini-series, I decided it would be nice to show the improvements from World Tour to the final entry, WWF No Mercy. We're going to skip over features added in later games and then removed, but we'll be able to see and hopefully appreciate just how much work went into these games over the small period of just 3 years. Let's go wild. So we did actually lose some moves between releases. In World Tour, you had multiple strong grapple corner attacks for certain wrestlers. Now, you have 4 split into 2 weak grapples and 2 strong grapples. Also, multiple dives depending on the location of grounded opponents no longer applies either. Everyone has an in-ring dive and outside top rope moves. Some wrestlers have specials as well. The ability to rip off masks has also been removed since World Tour. Endless leapfrogging was removed very quickly from the series. Test of Strength was also removed for No Mercy only. Only the wrestling fighting style exists in No Mercy. But with all that said, I think it's time to showcase the many additions and improvements. Starting off with strikes, in World Tour, you could do strong strikes by holding B and another one with B in a direction. In No Mercy, you have a third strike option by pressing A and B. While running, you have 2 strike options in World Tour. For weak running attacks, press C down then B. For a strong variant, press C down with a direction and then B. In No Mercy, you have 6 running attacks. There are both weak and strong variations of B and A plus B. Then you have front and back running grapple choices. In the corner, you have 2 running strikes as well, one by pressing B and the other by pressing A plus B. Grapples have seen drastic improvements since World Tour. First off, you can drag opponents well in front and back grapples. Moving an opponent on the apron is here too. By No Mercy, you can switch freely between front and back grapples, although you can only change positions twice in one grapple. You have 16 front grapple options in No Mercy in comparison to World Tour's 12. Technically, you have 8 back grapple moves in No Mercy, but this is really only an option for created wrestlers since the in-game roster only takes advantage of 4. Irish whips have been changed. In World Tour, you have 4 options. Pressing A or A and the D-pad, then you have 2 more options by holding those combinations for strong attacks. No Mercy Irish whips depend on whether the opponent was weak or strong grappled before throwing them into the ropes. Then the move depends on whether or not you press or hold the A button. In addition to the suplex to the inside, No Mercy has a weak grapple alternative to pukes on the apron. Weak grapples will have you deliver a club to the chest, while strong grapples usually do the suplex to the inside. In No Mercy, if you strong grapple before Irish whipping someone in the corner, your opposition will bounce off the turnbuckle pads and be open for another attack. In World Tour, you have 2 options when in recovery state. You can strike with A or B, or you can press L to roll backwards. No Mercy allows you to do a weak grapple, but if you're in the special state, you can still use your finisher if you capture them in a recovery grapple. You can also change who you're looking at for a potential surprise attack. In No Mercy, if you reverse a kick without a special, you'll enter a quick mini-game. You will press either A or B. As long as your foe doesn't press the same button as you'll follow through with an attack. If they guess correctly, you'll be hit with the enziguri. Buttons have been updated between 3 years as well. In World Tour, press C down to pin fallen foes. In No Mercy, you instead press L. Even the pin animations have been updated along with the evade animation. To spin folks in WCW, press C up. This works for grounded and standing opponents. In No Mercy, you press C left. You can also spin standing dizzy men with L. To drag grounded punks around in World Tour, hold L and the direction you want to go in with the D-pad. In No Mercy, it's once again C left you hold. To toss a man inside or outside the ring in WCW vs nWo, you need to do a strong front grapple and be close enough to the edge of the ring. then press C down. In No Mercy, it doesn't matter if you weak or strong grapple. Just grapple them, drag them to the end of the ring, and press C up. Since you press L to move back and forth between front and back grapples in No Mercy, the move to open up victims to a free hit has been changed to C down. There are many new attack situations that are available in No Mercy that aren't in World Tour. There's a sitting position and one where the opponent is on their hands and knees. Extra strikes and grapples are ways to take advantage of them in this state. Because of this, in No Mercy, you need to hold the R button to fully pick up lying opponents. If you tap R, you sit them up instead. Pressing R again while they're in these states will pick them up though. There are 2 extra positions for corner attacks. Press L to spin an opponent in the corner. Then you can strike or grapple them while their backs are exposed. If you grapple before pressing L, you'll turn them upside down into the Tree of Woe. Then you can either kick them or get a running start to attack. If you hit someone hard enough while they're near the ropes, they may get stuck for a moment and hang on to the ropes while they're stunned. Hit them again and they may just fall out of the ring. More move choices are inside turnbuckle attacks. Press A towards the turnbuckle while a downed opponent is nearby and you'll do a splash or elbow drop. Team moves are included in World Tour, front, back, and sandwich moves. In No Mercy, you can do 2 more situations. If you Irish Whip and time the A button presses right, you can do a tag team Irish Whip rebound attack. The second pays homage to one of the greatest tag teams of all time, the Road Warriors. If one of you grapples from behind and presses C up, you will try to put the Fool on your shoulders. If successful, your partner has a very limited time depending on the stamina of the enemy to do a diving attack to knock the enemy off the tag partner's shoulders. The main attacker can do this from the top rope or do some springboard dives as well. Some novel improvements in No Mercy include being able to slide inside and outside the ring with ease. If you want, you can even quickly get behind the ropes by running towards them and then pressing C down to slide up underneath and back up on the other side. A new evasion tactic has been added in No Mercy. If you press L while running, you'll dodge to the side. Time it correctly with an idiot's attack, and then look around after wondering which way you went, which opens them up for a quick move. Everyone in World Tour has only one standing taunt option. In No Mercy, you have 3 standard taunts, a special taunt, and a unique celebration taunt. The only way to do ducking taunts in World Tour is if you're getting off the ground. In No Mercy, you can do this whenever by flicking the analog stick down. Speaking of taunts, you need to do so while your attitude meter is blinking to enter the special state. In World Tour, you enter the special state automatically when your momentum reaches its maximum capacity. If you want to stick it to someone annoying, you steal their taunt by flicking the analog stick back and forth, or you can rotate it for an easier time. If you taunt at the exact time as your partner in No Mercy, you both do a synchronized taunt. Hardcore wrestling is probably the biggest overhaul between titles. No Mercy allows you to take the fight all around the arena. You can fight on each venue's stage. You can take the fight to the 5 backstage areas too. The hallway, boiler room, locker room, parking lot, and pool halls are all new areas exclusive to WWF No Mercy. You can even fight in the back of a WWF truck in the parking lot. There's also more areas to bash a fella's face off of. If you do any kind of grapple in No Mercy, then you can drag them to a wall, barrier, cage, ring, or table and press C down to smack their heads off of it. In World Tour, you can do this, but you need to be strong grapple and be lucky enough to be close to the guardrail. The arenas have an announcer's table and ringside steps for quick weapon access. Weapons have had major improvements. In World Tour, you press C up by the guardrail to grab a weapon. Now in No Mercy, you press C left by a variety of places. You can grab weapons from the crowd still, but also from lockers and behind the bar backstage. Heck, you can even grab weapons from random areas on certain stages. In certain rooms, weapons are scattered on the floor ready to be picked up or have someone slammed on top of them. Slamming a superstar on top of a weapon will have the move amplified by the sound effect that it makes too. In World Tour, weapons can't be on the ground. If you drop one, it sinks to the floor and disappears forever. You can't run with weapons in World Tour either. In No Mercy, you can, however. You can enter the ring with them too. Something else the World Tour doesn't allow: you can bounce off ropes without dropping weapons and smack the opponent to have them flip backwards. In World Tour, you have two options: weak strikes and strong strikes with weapons. No Mercy, in addition to the already mentioned running attacks, allows you to throw weapons from a distance to enemies. This is especially useful if they're inside the ring. You can break up a pin while holding onto your weapon also. A special weapon available is the ladder. You can climb ladders to do high flying attacks, but it's only possible in ladder matches. Finally, you can slam people on the new announcer's table, locker room table, or pool table. The biggest changes though have yet to come. World Tour doesn't have entrances. No Mercy does, however. They're not full entrances, but they do include pyro, lighting, Titantrons, and official WWF music. There's no tag team entrances, but you can have a manager walk with you to the ring. They'll even stand by your corner at ringside. During matches, rivals will interfere if they feel the need to. They'll come running down the ramp or into the room with a special ready to try and ruin your match. Doing enough damage will have them leave you alone though. If you have a manager, they will join you in the fight to keep the unwanted guests at bay. Replays occur in No Mercy. If you hit a big move, it will repeat 3 times to sell the impact. After the match, you'll see the closing moments playing on repeat with a variety of different camera angles as long as the match didn't end in count out or escape. In World Tour, you have 3 different difficulties for AI. There's easy, normal, and hard. No Mercy has 5. They also added the beginner and expert modes now available to choose from. No Mercy introduced new selling animations. If you are hit on the ground with a massive attack, your body will spasm to really sell the agony. A strong enough clothesline will see you spin in mid-air before hitting the canvas. The danger state wasn't introduced in No Mercy, but it has been a mainstay after World Tour. If you do poorly, the crowd will turn on you, and once your momentum can't drop any further, you will enter the danger state. In this status, resistance is futile. If you can, just try to avoid the enemy until your momentum returns to normal so you can try to build back up from there. Beaten bad enough and you'll fall into the new losing it state. When you enter this state, the match is pretty much over if your opponent shows mercy. You're essentially knocked out. The only hope to exit this status is by mashing as many buttons as possible and hoping for the best. This status is what you want to inflict to opponents in multi-man or cage matches so you have time to finish things once and for all. The last section of this video will be about the multiple ways you can end a match. Finisher positions in No Mercy include front grapple, back grapple, Irish whip, front corner, back corner, high flying, apron to the inside and apron to the outside, 4 ground specials, punch reversals, and kick reversals. That's a lot of ways to end the match. World Tour offered front and back finishers only. In World Tour, you can steal the opponent's move, but not their finishers for some reason. WWF, however, lets you steal specials from not just your opponents, but your own tag team partner as well. Although it doesn't work for ground specials, this does work for front, corner, and back grapples. You can steal more of your foe's attacks though, like ground specials and corner finishers. But that's about all the little details that make the AKI experience that much sweeter in WWF No Mercy. That's it for this episode, folks. Remember that this episode is meant to show off the gameplay changes only. I'm sure that there's some small improvements or move situations that I may have missed, but I believe that I got all the heavy hitters in this video. I hope you guys had as much fun with this series as I have. If you did enjoy, please consider giving me a like and subscribe for more AKI content every Saturday and Sunday. I plan on showcasing the evolution of many modes, features, characters, and more in the future, so ring the bell to be notified of that if interested. I also do playthroughs, ROM hack reviews, game comparisons, rankings, and more. Above all else though, please remember to have a nice day.